Have you got an idea for a book, but you are struggling to turn that idea into a story and then tell it scene by scene? Well, you are lucky, because today I am joined by Mel McGrath, and this is her latest amazing psychological thriller, which is such a perfect example of brilliant idea, and that brilliant idea transformed into a fantastically page-turning book. I love the book for so many reasons, which I'm going to get into with Mel, but we are going to learn from Mel herself how she was able to turn this brilliant concept into a book. Hey,
Hi,
Mel.
Hey.
Fancy seeing you here.
Here I am.
Here you are.
Thank you so much. So, my proposition, what I call my proposition, other people might call elevator pitch, but the kind of one-liner of The Guilty Party is, what if four friends who've been four friends for a long time witness a terrible event and decide for their various reasons to do nothing about it? Mm-hmm. What impact will that have on their friendship, and are they all guilty? Mm-hmm. That simple. Mm-hmm. And then I will think about that in the context of a scenario, that's the scenario, and the characters. Yeah. And where the point of conflict will be, and that will create a story. Yeah. So I keep asking, once I've got the scenario, I just keep asking myself the question, what if? What if this happens next? What if this happens next? What as a result of that, this happens? Yeah. And if you ask that enough times, you create a story. Mm.
And also what I love about the way that you have told the story. So sometimes it might be that we have a story told with just one perspective or two perspectives. So in this book, as Mel was talking about, there are these four friends. We have the story told by all four of their perspectives. And I really like the way that you do that. And I also like the way that you haven't just made them all likeable. Like, there's that tension. So if it's okay, I'd love for you to say a little bit about when you made that decision to tell the story from those four different perspectives as opposed to just choosing one of them.
I think there are a number of reasons for doing that. I think formally and structurally, if you're writing suspense or you're writing something that has a lot of forward propulsion, the narrative, it gives you the opportunity to chop up the narrative into different colours, if you like, or different shapes. So each point of view is a different shape or a different colour. Yeah. And that gives it a dynamic and a propulsion that it wouldn't have if it was all just one person's point of view. But also it allows you as the writer to keep things back from the reader, because certain perspectives will respond in particular ways, but they won't know other things about the other characters, and so it allows you to do this sort of dance. It's a kind of nice acrobatic. So from the point of view of keeping the energy up in a book, it's a great way of keeping energy up. It's a great way of keeping the reader on their toes. It's a great way of keeping the interest going, and also from the perspective of writing, it's fun writing four different characters, because inevitably some of them you're going to like bits of all of them, but you're also going to hate bits of all of them. So it's a fun thing to do if it suits the story.
I can imagine that you definitely had, like, some of the characters are doing things in this book, and I can definitely imagine it would have been quite fun to write about that.
I think in terms of narrative, if you're writing four different perspectives, it's all got to be one story, one large story from different points of view. So not everyone in that one large story will know all the story, except for you and the reader eventually. Yeah. So that allows you to dance about with how much you withhold and how much you tell, using the different perspectives. And as far as voices and getting the voices right, the better you know the characters, the more they differentiate themselves.
Yeah.
So as you're going through, you get to know them better, and you get to know the kinds of things that they would say and the kinds of things they wouldn't say.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of dialogue, it always pays, and I did this and I would always do this, to go back once you've got a draft and you make sure that they speak differently. So they speak differently because they might have different educational backgrounds, from different parts of the country. They have a different way of communicating, and particularly with dialogue, I would go back and be very careful to make sure that I've got some of them using words that others don't use. Some of them swear, others don't swear. That kind of thing.
What I love about this thriller is sometimes you're just reading a thriller and you're just kind of turning the page like, oh, just tell me what happened. But because of the relationships between the characters and because of those different points of view and the clever way that Mel tells the story, you actually don't want to miss a page, because the changes that each of the characters are going throughout the story they're deep, and the changes are subtle, and you really want to make sure that you catch every single one of them. So the big reveal at the end is kind of like an added bonus for me.
I don't think I've come across anyone, I have to say, who has seen that coming yet.
The reveal.
Yeah, and it was partly because I had a totally different idea of what was going to happen at the end.
Did you?
Until I got right to the end and thought, oh no, I'm not going to make that happen. I'm going to make something completely different happen.
Yeah, well, I definitely, because I'm one of those people who are like, okay, I think I'm reading the signs. Like, that one's a red herring. No, this is the one. So yeah, I definitely got to the end and I was like, no, I didn't see that one coming.
Just keep on going. Don't lose heart and don't lose track of your story.
Thank you. Thanks so much for joining me, Mel. And as always, I will see you next week.